bioidentical hormone therapy for men is a passionate topic for me. And I'll tell you about how I got started. I'm 71. 21 years ago, some good friends of mine, Bob Goldman and Ron Klatz, founded the American Academy of Anti-Aging and Regenerative Medicine. And I can tell you a few years before that, I had heard about it. I thought they had lost their mind. But then I went to a conference when I was about 50, and I had my levels tested as well and looked at things. And I said, as a sports medicine doctor, former college ski racer, I said, this makes sense to me. I don't feel bad, but I'm 50. I'm not the same, and I want to be proactive with this. So, my levels were in the mid 400 to 500s. When we're in our 20s, up to 1100 is normal. Well, where was I? I was in the 50th percentile. Do I like doing anything 50%? No, I don't. As my dad and I said, if you don't give it 110%, don't do it. Okay, Dad. So I've approached hormone therapy for men the same way. I see a lot of guys, starting at age 30, we start losing 1% to 3% of our hormones a year. So we may or may not feel bad at 30, 40, or even 50, but at some point it affects us. It affects us a lot more. We start not seeing as good of results at the gym. Man, I'm not getting the same results. I can't seem to build more mass. I got this little tire around my stomach, that doesn't want to go away. Recovery time is longer after, a vigorous sporting event or tough workout at the gym. We stay sore longer. Recovery time is prolonged. So it affects a lot. Mood, motivation, 3, 4 o'clock. I want to go home. I don't feel like starting a new project. Well, hey, you want to feel great all day, every day. As I talked about recently in regards to women who, I treasure, it is so tough. What a tough job. You got to not only balance a career or a full-time mom with kids and a husband that's going to come home hungry at 5 or 6. A lot of things to do. If your hormones aren't optimal, then it's nearly impossible to do with a smile on your face. Well, the same goes for guys. You don't want to come home and be the grumpy guy in the chair or on the couch. You want to engage with your kids or grandkids or whatever the case may be. So we start seeing mood changes, but what always hits home for guys is when the plumbing doesn't work right. So, sexual health is a big deal. And it seems like we hear more about that all the time. Well, what can I do? Well, sexual health. Well, this, well, that. Obviously, testosterone. I talk about it a lot in my book, Beyond the Fountain of Youth. I titled it that for a reason. Many of us, most of us, actually none of us have found the fountain of youth. This is as close as we get, restoring hormones. And so as we start to feel those different symptoms, whether it's aches and pains, motivation, energy level, drive, stamina, sexual stamina, libido, arousal, they're all affected. But what's really even more important, yes, testosterone helps that. The results can be dramatic and fairly fast, but it drives everything else from muscle metabolism, glucose metabolism, brain health, heart health. The benefits are well documented, and there are now many longevity studies showing the benefits for men with natural bioidentical hormones. And we address everything from DHEA to looking at thyroid hormone to human growth hormone levels. People are always asking me, well, my friends, I've been reading, I need to be on peptides. Well, okay, which ones? What are we going to address? Now, there are several that work great to help increase human growth hormone, which is really our kind of the master metabolism level. It peaked when you were 20 and started downhill very quickly thereafter. But as we find out, as we balance all of our hormones, testosterone, DHEA, thyroid, growth hormone in men, the results are awesome. We just feel we look better. We look different. We feel stronger. In most cases, we gain a little muscle mass. We lose a little of that spare tire and we just feel better. It's easier to go to the gym. When your levels are low, that's the last thing you want to do. You're done. You're ready for the couch. You want to go home and chill. It's hard, and after you miss there once, day 2 comes quick and day 3, and now it's been 6 months. You haven't been to the gym. You haven't taken a hard hike or a long walk or done things that you loved doing before. And so that's what's so fulfilling to me is to see guys get their mojo back, so to speak, to really feel engaged, to be the leader of their family or business that, they've always been or were previously. And so that is a very transformative kind of experience. And then I have guys that just want to be proactive. They're like, I don't feel too bad, but, I've been reading, I've been studying, and there's podcasts like mine and books like mine and other leaders out there that we all know from Instagram and Facebook and, wherever. And they are sharp guys that I know and that I, emulate, and that maybe they are emulating me. I don't know. I've been doing this for 21 years. And so, fortunately, I was one of the first in the country doing all this and using your own stem cells for repair as well. So it's an exciting topic, and I love sharing that and seeing guys really become the younger version of themselves again. So the next steps are really easy. Click on the link at the bottom of this podcast and give us a call. I set up labs all over the world for patients. In the United States, there's almost nowhere that doesn't have LabCorp. If they don't, and you're in a smaller community, I've recently been working with some of my old high school classmates back in Clare, Michigan. And so we use the local hospital or their primary care physician's office. We email orders, we get it done, takes 5 to 7 days to get the results. And then we sit down through a telemedicine call just like this and discuss it. Is this something I would benefit from? And I look at things very objectively. One, I send a checklist, a symptom list every time that has 20 different items, from energy levels to libido to sexual stamina to sleep quality to anxiety to moodiness. And on the left side of that page are the words never, mild, moderate, and severe. And as we start out, many times the check marks are on the right side of the page. Well, my goal is that, as I tell people, you need to live on the left side of this page. And it happens every time. And so how do we get there? We review things. And when we fill out these questions, how do I feel today at 40, 50, or 60, whatever age, compared to when I was 25 or 30? Well, hey, I don't remember what I felt like at 25 or 30, but I can tell you I didn't have any complaints. Everything worked. You felt great. You took everything for granted. And so that's really the level we want to get things back to. So it's the easiest thing is to just click on the link, give us a call. We'll send in some orders, we'll spend, 30 minutes or so on a telemedicine visit or in person if you're anywhere in, around Aspen or Denver, and then come up with a plan. If you're not a candidate, I'll make some suggestions. I'll tell you some stuff you could do for free to help you optimize your health. Obviously, that's a whole nother topic as we get into, eating organic vegetables and staying away from toxins in our environment and our foods, which can be poisons to us. And many things, estrogenic compounds in plastic water bottles and soy proteins and things that drastically affect our manliness and our testosterone levels. So I'd encourage you to at least get a baseline and see where you're at. There may be some very simple things that can be done. If you're not 40, 50, 60, or let's say start at 50, 60 and above, and your testosterone levels aren't great, but they're not, at the bottom of the route, our normal ranges. What I like to do is stimulate your own testosterone production using a medication called clomiphene, a fertility drug, HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin. Those things work very well. So there's almost no one we can't optimize and help really to reach and regain that level of performance that you had when you were 20, 30. And now you really appreciate it. So I look forward to speaking.